How's it going, everybody? And welcome to 2020, but also welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Round 1 here. We have the Block Dragon Burning Abyss deck versus a Thunder Dragon deck. So hope you guys are looking forward to this matchup. Make your guesses down in the comment section below who's going to take it. But I did, of course, win the die roll, so that means, of course, I'm going to go first. The combo deck that I am playing, definitely want to be able to set up that first turn board that this deck is known for setting up. So Mathematician being most loyal, being able to send that O-Lion to the graveyard. Of course, get that level 3 token out in the field that will get me basically a 1-card Cherubini. And of course, following that up with the Psychic Tracker. Now using Cherubini's effect to dump that Graph to the graveyard to be able to summon, of course, none other than the infamous, the most infamous BA himself, Seer, the Malbranche of the Burning Abyss. Now going into the Dante, trying to get some mills going, trying to load up the graveyard, trying to get that Block Dragon to the grave, trying to see Block Dragon really in any way, shape, or form. But we do mill a Rhino Warrior, which is really good because that'll get the Edgem Sabers in our graveyard. And a Giant Rex as well, which I would have had the opportunity to banish there, but I decided to leave it into the graveyard for later for the possible summon of a Block Dragon. Gonna go ahead and reveal a Mothman now, and that does go through. I believe I ended up discarding a Destrudo out of my hand. So I already have like 2/3 of a Curious in my grave by way of Edgem Sabers and Destrudo. So that is going to be nice because Curious is a very key card in this deck sometimes. Sometimes you needed to send a Block Dragon because you haven't seen it yet. Sometimes you need to send it that crucial Glow-Up Bulb for the Nat Beast to be able to seal the game. Nat Beast is a very important card to be ending on. And then that Saryuja ended up just drawing me into a Sekka's Light, which ends up drawing me into a Gallus. But the Gallus decides he doesn't want to go through, and that was my first Gallus of the tournament. So we're going to get started with a Snack now, I believe. And I think he hits a Jackalope out of my hand. So the Snack will resolve. Then the Jackalope. That'll summon out the Nessie. So right now I technically could go for a Curious if I were to use the Destrudo in my graveyard. But I believe I don't opt to do so, especially now that I'm doing Mothman. And I think the Mothman goes through as well. Discards a Gizmek out of my grave. So right here as it stands, I do have enough for a Curious, but I decided to not make it, and I think the main reason was I was worried that if I did make the Curious there with those 3 dangers, I might not have enough fuel left over to go into another Saryuja. But I probably should have just taken the safer route and made the Curious first, see what I milled, and just played it out from there. But nonetheless, that second Saryuja does get me into a Block Dragon, which is absolutely clutch. Gonna banish all 3 of those, including the Giant Rex. And that's going to summon himself out, and I'll use the Sea Archiver in response as well. So, getting a couple monsters on board essentially for free, as it were. But now I'm trying to make Curious. So this is where things become a little weird. I also didn't see it now that I'm watching this over again. I could have linked off the Snack and the Sea Archiver for Cerberus instead of linking off the Block Dragon. Because now I put myself in a bad spot right here, because this is one thing I need to learn more going forward with the deck, is to always be able to chain block your Block Dragon, because later in the round that you guys won't see, because I wasn't playing in the feature match again, but I ended up just linking away my Block Dragon for a Cerberus just to get the effect and an extra name on board, and that Block Dragon was freely ashed, and it actually ended up really hurting my board state. So one thing to keep in mind if you're starting to play this deck, always make sure you can chain link block the Block Dragon, because some people will be smart and save the Ash for it. So Glow Bulb getting sent off the Curious there, milling a Dot Scaper off of the Glow Bulb, how convenient, but not going to use its effect there, and just going to link off the Cerberus and the Curious for that Avermax, such an amazing card. And then summoning out Block Dragon one more time before using Saryuja's effect to go for the Fossil Dyna. Now passing it over to my opponent. He's got to deal with me being able to negate any spell just by milling the top 2 cards off my deck. The rock type monsters I control cannot be destroyed by card effects. He cannot special summon. Well, neither player can special summon technically. It's basically Vanity's Emptiness. And he can only attack Avermax, which is currently at 3,300 thanks to the Saryuja. So it is a pretty tough board for any deck to break. Unless, of course, you got a clutch evenly matched, Dark Ruler no more, or that pesky raw sphere mode. But he's going to reveal to me what he is playing. Perhaps maybe thinking he can stall one more turn for the out, whatever that out may be. Starting with a Thunder Dragon, searching another copy of itself, and then normal summoning the Battery Man Solar, using his effect on summon to be able to send, I believe he goes for the Roar. And I believe I cut the deck here, you know, signaling that he's done going back into the deck. And is going to set one and pass it back to me. And now at this point, I know I need to just go into the battle phase, but I'm kind of curious what that back row might be. So first, instead of immediately rushing to the battle phase, I'm going to use Seconds Light's Graveyard effect to mulligan that Libic back into my deck. And now, deciding it is time to go into the battle phase. Of course, I'm going to leave the Fossil Dyna in defense position just in case anything goes awry. So I'll run over the Solar for 1,000, attack for 25, swinging for 33, and then the Saryuja will attack for game. We're going to head into game 2. And one thing I want to mention, I hope you guys are liking this new layout that I have for the duel videos. Brand new for the new year, the new turn player icon, all that stuff. I think it looks a lot better than it did last year, so I really hope you guys enjoy the way the overlay looks, because it will constantly be changing based on what decks are being played in that given video. So let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section below. Still a lot of improvements editing wise I want to make to these videos to make them a bit more immersive, I suppose, but either way, I hope you guys are enjoying that. So our Thunder player ends on a Colossus and passes, which Colossus does hurt. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt this deck because it turns off Block Dragon, which is like your best searcher in the entire deck. But granted, it is the only card that searches. But it is a pretty important card nonetheless. It's not like it's stopping end-phase Skarms because I don't even play Skarm. But we start with the most loyal mathematician once again, dumping a Libic to summon a Farfa from my hand. Couldn't be more happy to open the Farfa in this case because that's going to out the Colossus right then and there. And now I'm going to go ahead and attempt to start comboing. And as I do, I want to mention a quick shout out, of course, to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in picking up that playmat that I'm using there on the left, or any of the sleeves that I'm using, any amazing dice or calculator cases, or deck boxes, because I have a new amazing deck box out. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to be doing a review on it. Check them out down in the description below and use that discount code WinnerKills10 off to save 10% off your entire order. So really would appreciate the support on that, guys. So thank you for those that use that. But moving forward, Jackalope will resolve, and then I'm going to use the Cherubini to dump, I believe, Rhino to send Sabers. And that Sabers will summon itself out because I believe I was unlucky enough to open Seer. So I end up just stacking the Seer and using his graveyard effect this way to be able to summon out that Farfa for an extra body. Now, in my hand, I believe I have Fossil Dyna and a Gigantes. I could be wrong about the Fossil Dyna though. I'm not entirely sure if it is Fossil Dyna that I ended up opening. But gonna go ahead and link it here regardless into a Saryuja, you know, just kind of going about my combo as I normally would. Now that I am sort of free from the clutches of any Colossus. So he's gonna have a response though. As the chain links are being built here, Saryuja 1, Dante 2, and Nibiru 3. So Nibiru will resolve, and then Saryuja will resolve. Well, then the Dante, then the Saryuja. So clearing my Saryuja there after the fact. Not too big of a deal, though, getting that token. And the worst thing about it is the token is 0 defense, 2800 attack. So it's very, very vulnerable. And I end up picking up a Sekka's Light off the Saryuja, which is great. And I'm thinking maybe this can fix my hand because right now it's a little awkward. And with this given hand, might be able to play through this Nibiru because I got Nibiru 3 times at this locals, and 2 out of those 3 times I was able to continue comboing through it. This happened to be the one time that I was not able to do so, so I'm going to pass it over to the Thunder Dragon player. Of course, this Colossus coming back in the end phase. And I've only got 8,000, which of course, in some cases is a good amount, but when you've got already 2 massive bodies on board to start your turn, and you know what, we might even just make that 3 massive bodies with the Thunder Dragon duo now hitting the field, 2,800, 3K, and 26. Really just needs to get one other monster on board to basically steal the game. So going to add a Thunder Dragon Fusion off of the Dark, I believe, and then pitch a Thunder Dragon to search, of course, another copy of Thunder Dragon. And, yeah, not looking too good for me at this point. I was feeling pretty confident in my ability to perhaps try and play through the Nibiru, but my hand was just not allowing for it. If I would have had a Block Dragon, maybe some dangers, we would have been good to go, essentially just to go right up and do another Saryuja and sort of continue as if nothing happened, using the token as link fodder. You know, that's usually the plan, but just not have the best hand to sort of follow up. And my hand right now is like Tour Guide, Sekka's Light, Nibiru, and one other card, I believe. So if I survive this turn, I can pop off extremely hard with Tour Guide Sekka's and just probably take the game outright. But it's up to him at this point to try and pull off an OTK, because that's exactly what he needs to do right now, because my hand is absolutely stacked. And I have a Nibiru of my own. He did see the one in my graveyard that I milled early in the turn, so that kind of gave it away as to, you know, what I sided in. So he's going to summon 2 monsters, and that's going to be it before he enters the battle phase, turning off Nibiru. I'll take 28, 3k, and then before the Colossus attacks, I have 2200, which will spell game, and we're going to head into game 3. A game 3 situation. So I want to mention also, if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below. Helps support me and the channel. And the process helps me to be able to make more and better videos for you guys. So it would be much appreciated. Check that link out. But getting started with the Rhino Warrior and then special summoning the Graph. And then Rhino Warrior, I believe, sending Libic. And then Libic will summon the Seer from my hand. So getting unlucky and opening Seer both games 2 and 3. And then I believe using Cherubini here to send Sea Archiver. And then I'm going to use Sneck. Hopefully the Sneck goes through. And I believe it does, so I'll get a free card out of that. End up discarding one other card. I believe which is the Sabers, so that's huge. So Sabers is going to stack a card back to the top of my deck. And that stacked card was the O-Lion, so milling Block Dragon, O-Lion, and Lancia. Because Lancia is the only card I believe I have sided, and I think I've taken out the Nibirus. Because if I have the opportunity to go first, I like to side very, very minimal, especially if it is games 2 or 3. And that card I usually like to side in is Lancia. Because if I get to go first, I can expect that my opponent might be siding in something like evenly matched, and Lancia will stop just that, the evenly matched, which would, you know, be an outright blowout. You know, now using another Sneck, and I'm not as lucky as this time, so the Sneck will get hit, summon itself out, and then the Sea Archiver will follow suit. Have a Block Dragon engrave, but deciding not to use it yet, and going to link into a second Saryuja. And thanks to Dante not only chain link blocking my Saryuja every time, but also being able to recur a BA to my hand just to give me a free card to essentially put back off of the Saryuja. So allowing me to maintain more card advantage. So putting back those 3, and then using Gallus now to mill a Mathematician, so he'll take 600, dropping him down to 74. Gallus was very, very nice to me in another game that I ended up burning for, I think, for a total of 32. Milling a Gizmek and a Block Dragon off of like 2 consecutive Galluses. So coming in super, super clutch there. Now summoning out the Wielder alongside the Gallus. Gonna special summon Block Dragon now before I go into another Saryuja. Actually, no, not another Saryuja. Going into Curious though this time. So this time I'm able to not chain link block. I technically do have the option, because I actually, the way I think it would work out is if I were to chain link block the Block Dragon here, I would send first off the Curious, then add off the Block Dragon, and then Curious's second effect would resolve to mill 3 cards. But I decided to play it safe here, just so I don't mill a Fossil Dyna, because knowing my luck, I would mill a Fossil Dyna off of that. But I think the way it would sequence is that I wouldn't even have the chance to mill before I end up searching off Block Dragon. So synchroing now into the Naturia Beast, so probably turning off a few cards in his hand. Now going into another Block Dragon summon, and here is where the Gizmek comes in super clutch. So instead of trying to have to pour more resources to make an Avermax, I can simply just summon Gizmek here, and overlay the Gizmek and the Block Dragon into a nice little card we all know and love. The Dingirsu Orchis of the Evening Star. Won't be attaching or sending anything on summon. Nope, just going to be able to use them as a double protection effect to protect none other than the Block Dragon. Or not the Block Dragon, but the Fossil Dino. So it's essentially serving the same purpose of both Abramax and Dingirsu. If you were to destroy it twice, I can protect it up to twice. Up to 2 times. So a fantastic card. So basically a pseudo Abramax. And with a field like that, it's going to prove to be too much. So Block Dragon BA taking the match 2-1 against Thunder Dragon. A clutch Nibiru in game 2, saving him, followed up by a swift OTK. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first video of 2020. Let me know what you guys think about the new overlay. I would love to hear the feedback in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.